Hey, what's up guys? This video is a tutorial on how to solve the Rubik's Cube using the layer by layer method. There are many different ways to solve the cube, but I would recommend this one for beginners because it's how I learned it and it's probably the easiest way to solve it. Once you become very good at solving this way, you may want to learn some other methods which are more advanced but will help you to solve the cube faster. The layer by layer method, which I'm about to show you, consists of 7 steps, and using it, you should be able to solve the cube in about 5 minutes. But with practice, like anything else, you can use the layer by layer method to solve the cube in about 1 minute. Now, before we begin, there are some things that you should know. First of all, if you want to take your Rubik's Cube apart for any reason, you should turn the top layer like this. Then, you can pop this middle piece right out. If your cube is still new, like mine, it may be hard to pop it out, but after a while it will come apart more easily. But remember, when you put it back in, do it carefully so that the plastic doesn't break, because believe me, it can happen. Also, if you take out all the pieces, you should put it back together in a solved state rather than just in any order. The reason is that the cube can actually become impossible to solve otherwise. Thirdly, if there's something you must know about the Rubik's Cube, it is that the middle piece of all 6 sides on the cube are the color of that side. As you can see right here, I have taken apart my Rubik's Cube. You can clearly see now that there are 6 center pieces all around a core or axis. Here I have all 8 of the corner pieces, and here I have all 12 of the edges. Altogether, that makes a total of 26 pieces. If your Rubik's Cube is still pretty new, then it's probably also very hard to turn each of the sides. To fix this, all you have to do is get a Q-tip and some petroleum jelly. Grab a little dab of it on the Q-tip and just put it around the axis until it looks pretty slippery, and that will make it easier for the pieces to turn. Another important thing you should know are the cube side names. Holding the cube like this, you can differentiate each side from one another. This is the up side, this is the down side, this is the left side, this is the right side, this is the back side, and this is the front side. However, in this video, you will notice I never even have to use the down side or the left side, which may make solving the cube a little less hard for you. Now, I'm assuming that this is the first time that you are solving the Rubik's Cube, and I want to tell you before I begin not to get discouraged. There are a number of patterns or algorithms you need to get familiar with if you want to be able to solve this on your own one day. So for each side, there are 2 possible ways of turning it, clockwise or counterclockwise. So for example, if we wanted to turn the upside clockwise, we would do it like this. But instead of writing out upside clockwise, we can write it out as U. But now you may wonder, well, how do you know to turn it clockwise or counterclockwise just by writing U? Well, that's an excellent question, and I'll answer it by telling you it is written as U prime, or in other words, U with an apostrophe, which looks like this. Now, if you understand what I'm talking about so far for the upside, you will be able to understand that this is true for all of the sides of the cube. So, R, R prime, F, F prime, B, B prime, and so on and so forth. Anyways, let's get down to it. The first thing you must do is scramble the cube, if you haven't already done so. Just scramble all the pieces until they look somewhat mixed up on each side. Once you do that, you're ready for step 1. So I'm going to come back in a minute with my cube all scrambled up. Step 1. Solving the white cross. To begin, you need to turn the cube until the white side is facing up. Remember, you know which side is which by looking at the middle piece. Before you actually begin solving the white cross, it's a good idea to know where all of your edges are with a white piece on it. So here's one, here's one, here's one, and there's the last one. Now, the objective of this step is to get all 4 of those edges to go around this white piece in a cross formation. So to do this, you must get that piece to line up with both the white piece as well as the other color. I'm going to show you a couple of scenarios to help make this more clear to you. So for the first example, if the white edge piece is already beside the white centerpiece, all you have to do is turn it until its color right here matches up with its own centerpiece, like so. For this example, when the white edge piece is facing the bottom, it's usually pretty easy to solve as well, because all you have to do is turn it until it lines up with its color, and now you just turn it until it lines up. So there you go. So for this example, the edge is in the middle layer. So first you want to look for where it needs to go. So since this is red and white edge, you know it needs to go in between the red and white middle pieces. So it goes right here. It needs to replace this piece. So all you do is turn the top layer twice, replace it, and bring it back. And you'll see that it just solved that part of the cross. The last example I showed you was basically the same thing as this one, except in this case, the white is pointing towards you and it's in the middle layer. The last time, it was on the right. So to solve this, you first look for where it needs to go. So this is a blue and white edge piece, and it needs to go right here. So I'm going to turn the top layer twice, bring it up to replace it, and then you bring it back. And now it's lined up, so that part of the cross is solved. So for this example, first I need to look for where this piece needs to go. It's a green and white piece, which means it needs to go right here. So I turn the top layer once, bring it up, and turn it back. And now it's solved. So for this example, which is probably the hardest example of solving the white cross, is when white is pointing towards you. So first you must turn this until the color of the edge matches its corresponding middle piece. So orange and orange. Now you apply this algorithm. F prime, U prime, R, U. It looks like this. F prime, U prime, R, U. And as you can see, it solved this piece. Now it's matching up. So now we have solved the white cross and we're ready to move on to step 2.